Barcelona are already considering sending Marcus Rashford back to Manchester United in what would be one of the most dramatic turnarounds of the transfer window. When the English forward left Old Trafford for Camp Nou, the deal was viewed as a fresh start for a player in need of confidence, rhythm, and a new challenge. Yet just a few weeks into his Barcelona career, doubts have emerged inside the club, and reports in Spain suggest that his time in Catalonia may not last as long as many anticipated. Rashford was supposed to bring speed, direct running, and goals to a side that has struggled for cutting edge in big moments, but the reality has been more difficult than the expectations. For Barcelona, this was not a move made lightly. Their transfer strategy has been dictated heavily by financial restrictions, with every euro needing to be spent carefully. Bringing in Rashford was a statement of intent, a gamble on a player who once carried Manchester United's attack on his shoulders, who produced match-winning moments in the Premier League and on European nights. Yet the adaptation process in Spain has exposed weaknesses in his game. The demand at Barcelona is unique, a club that not only expects results but demands a certain style, possession-based, intricate, and tactically fluid. Rashford, for all his qualities, is more of a transition player, someone who thrives on space, counter-attacks, and instinctive movements. So far, his fit in Xavi's system has looked uneasy. The biggest frustration, according to whispers from the Barcelona camp, has been his inconsistency. In one game, Rashford shows flashes of his devastating pace, his ability to isolate defenders and create danger out of nothing. In the next, he goes missing, drifting out of games and failing to impose himself. That level of unpredictability has been difficult for a side that relies on every attacking player to contribute regularly, especially in high-pressure fixtures. The Catalan press has not been forgiving, with some commentators already questioning whether the gamble was worth it. For a club with little room for error financially, this signing is being re-evaluated far earlier than anyone thought it would be. Manchester United, watching from a distance, might be surprised at how quickly Barcelona's stance has shifted. For them, Rashford remains a homegrown player, someone who has carried their badge with pride since his academy days. Yet his final seasons at Old Trafford were marked by inconsistency, criticism, and questions about whether he had reached his ceiling. A move away was seen as necessary to relieve the pressure and give him space to rediscover his best version. The idea that Barcelona might already be open to sending him back raises intriguing questions about United's stance. Would they welcome him back with open arms? Would Erik ten Hag, or whoever is in charge, be willing to integrate him again after such a short absence? Or would United see an opportunity to cash in if Barcelona are forced to negotiate? From Rashford's perspective, this situation is another test of resilience. Few players have had to endure such sharp swings in reputation over the past few years. At his peak, he was hailed as one of England's brightest stars, a forward capable of winning games on his own. At his lowest, he has been criticized for wasteful finishing, questionable decision-making, and lapses in confidence. The move to Spain was supposed to represent a reset, a chance to escape the scrutiny of the English media. Ironically, he now finds himself under the microscope of Barcelona's even more unforgiving environment, where every missed chance and poor performance is dissected by fans and journalists alike. Xavi and his coaching staff face a dilemma. On one hand, they know Rashford has the talent to be decisive. On the other, they cannot afford passengers in their pursuit of silverware. Barcelona's season will be defined by their performances in La Liga and the Champions League, competitions where small margins matter. If Rashford cannot deliver quickly, the pressure to look for alternatives will mount. Already, reports link the club with other forwards, some younger, some more tactically suited to their system. That only adds to the uncertainty around Rashford's role. What makes the story even more complicated is the financial backdrop. Barcelona have had to balance books with unprecedented measures, activating so-called economic levers and cutting costs wherever possible. A player not performing as expected is not just a sporting problem, it's a financial liability. The wages, the amortized transfer fee, and the opportunity cost of having Rashford instead of another option weigh heavily in these discussions. If the club feels they cannot justify the expense, even a short-term stay could come to an end. This is why the idea of sending him back to Manchester United is not as far-fetched as it may sound. For United supporters, the possibility of Rashford's return will spark mixed emotions. Many still see him as one of their own, someone who grew up at Carrington and delivered magical nights at Old Trafford. Yet others believe the club needs to move forward, rebuild with players more suited to their long-term vision, and avoid clinging to the past. The key will be whether Rashford himself has the hunger and desire to fight back, to prove his critics wrong once again. There is also the international angle to consider. With England preparing for major tournaments in the coming years, Rashford's form will play a huge role in whether Gareth Southgate continues to trust him. If his struggles at Barcelona persist, his place in the national team could come under threat. Conversely, a revival either in Spain or back in Manchester would strengthen England's attacking depth and provide Southgate with another reliable weapon. As things stand, the next few months will be decisive. Rashford needs to perform consistently if he wants to secure his place at Barcelona and silence the doubts surrounding him. For now, the whispers of a premature return to Manchester United reflect not only his own struggles but also the ruthless environment of modern football, where reputations are built and destroyed in the space of a few weeks. For Barcelona, the decision will ultimately come down to pragmatism. Can Rashford deliver enough on the pitch to justify the investment, or will they admit the gamble has not paid off and look to cut ties before it's too late? The situation is fluid, the pressure is mounting, and all eyes will be on Rashford as he attempts to turn this narrative around. Because if he doesn't, the story of his Barcelona adventure may end far sooner than anyone expected, with a return ticket to Manchester United already being printed.